Absalom Owadu's tenure at Orlando Pirates has started with a bang, with Osuna Police and Tito Maswanganyi scoring the 2 winning goals. We're going to tactically dissect how Absalom Owadu has made Pirates so fluid and how he is approaching a game in such a way that he will become unpredictable. We'll also look at Sipombul and Relem, the 2 other aspects that I know from this game people won't talk about because they were there just in small concentration. And also going to look at the potential things that other teams can exploit Orlando Pirates with, because Polokwane City started doing this from the first half, but since they were not doing it that much because they are a much weaker team, some people might have not seen it, but we're going to talk about it in this video because this is the Cutback with Mpilo and we analyze football matches. So do make sure to subscribe so that you never miss a video. Let's start with Orlando Pirates. So highlighted here is Relebohile Mufokeng, and as the ball is played long, look how he's making his run. His run is towards goal, and as he's making his run, there's a second run that is made by Dion Hoto. Now when that happens, that has created space for Relebohile Mufokeng, and this was about to be a trend for the rest of the game. Hoto then plays the ball to Mufokeng, who then tries to find Uhoto again. Now, this is a thing that happened within the first 10 seconds. And I'm going to tell you, Pirates scored their 2 goals through this situation. And now, let's break down what Pirates were actually trying to do here. So, if you look here, once again, you have Relebohile Mufokeng, who is inverted. He's playing like a floating 10 at this point. Now, as that happens, it leaves that whole space for Hoto because the defender is more worried about, hey, do not let Mufokeng touch the ball, because if he touches the ball, there's going to be problems. But now you've created another problem. Hoto is now free and he has a very good left foot. And as he receives the ball, now the defender has to now come across and mark Uhoto. And again, the space that we're talking about is now wide open. Mufokeng, being an intelligent player, he's now going to run into that space and receive the ball. But another element of this is, as all of this is happening, Osuna Police on the far side of the pitch is not thinking about, it's time for me to run into the 18 area. No, he's holding his width for 2 reasons. 1, element of surprise. 2, he must also keep the left back of Polokwane City thinking, if I leave him, he's going to get the ball and he's going to be free. So now that thing of making a defender think twice about their actions is what killed Polokwane City. So as it continues now, you can see that Hoto gets the ball, plays it to Mufokeng. Now there's that space that has been vacated because Mufokeng has pulled a defender. Now as the ball is about to be crossed, our police now decides, now is the time for me to make my run into the box. And as he makes his run, the defenders, you can see they are split. The left center back and the left back are thinking about our police, and then Radio Pane is pulling the other defenders in the near post, and there's just chaos in the box. And Osuna Police does get to the ball, but then this time around, it doesn't go in. By the way, this is in the first 30 seconds, but it continues. Of course it does, because if you continue to look here, you can see how deep Relebohile Mufokeng is. This is the part where I'm talking about fluidity and the fact that players are not given positions. You are a 10 or you are a left winger, so you're going to stay there. No. They move around so that they stay unpredictable. Mufokeng is deep, playing the ball in that situation. So as it goes there, we talked about this earlier, he is being tracked and forced back. But in doing that, what they do not understand is that this is by design. If Mufokeng drops, since they know that Mufokeng is going to be man-marked, most likely, which was the case, the defender is going to track with him. And as they track with him, they've opened a huge gap, which Mufokeng is now going to start attacking because, well, as you can see, the defender went with him, left that gap open. It happens again here. Mufokeng drops, the defender follows him, and now he turns around, he tries to exploit that space. Mufokeng drops, the defender follows him, plays a simple 1-2, and now it's time for him to attack that space, combine again, but then Pirates don't score this goal. Again, fluid system, but also they are using the very same thing that the other team was trying to neutralize them against them. You are going to press us, you are going to shadow mark, you are going to like man mark us, okay, fine. let's exploit that. And the next thing is, it's not just Mfokeng who was fluid in this game, because here you see Patrick Maswanganyi, right, in his normal 10 position. You expect him to be there, but a few seconds later he's now on the left wing. Now that has caused a lot of confusion, because now Mfokeng is no longer on the left side, which is where you're expecting him, but is now the furthest man forward. He's playing like a 9 at this point. And if you are in a game and you are given certain instruction by the coach, do this and do that, and the other team just completely does the opposite, this is why you see Polokwane City looking so disorganized as well. Now, once again, you see Tito is receiving the ball from here. When he receives the ball, the defender now, since is instructed that if someone is in this zone, you mark them, right? Forget about the line, just mark the person. Again, what you see is he drops into that position, and then Maswanganyi is being followed. And as this is happening, the defender is now also thinking, should I go mark Maswanganyi or should I stay with Mfokeng, who's now on the left again? And as this happened, there is now a huge gap that is now open behind. But another thing to note, look at Osuna Police again, same line as Urele Mfokeng again, right? Both the wingers, he's holding his width on the side. Now the ball is played behind into that space again, and the ball is now crossed. Look again, Osuna Police, same space that he was in earlier on when they were creating the game. Within the first 30 seconds, as I said, I wasn't jumping the gun. 30 seconds they were doing this, and now it's the 32nd minute. It's the same thing. Osuna Police still holding his width on the other side. Mfokeng is crossing the ball, and then Police is now going to receive the ball free. His first touch is bad, but then he recovers, and then they end up fouling him, and then Pirates get a penalty, which Tito Maswanganyi puts away. Now, I did not forget Police's goal. I was just showing you that the distance between the first 30 seconds and the 32nd minute, same thing was happening. But it wasn't just jumping around randomly, because even for Police's goal, you will see that it comes from these elements combining together. Now it starts with Osuna Police this time getting the ball and running inside into the midfield, right? And as that happens, if you look seconds later, now there's still that thing. On the left, there is width that is being provided there. Now the defender has to make a decision. I have to go close that man down. And as it does that, you see him there. What he has done, he has surrendered the space, that entire space, for two Pirates players now, because remember, now Police came from the other side with the ball and is now on the left with the ball. Now they're overloading that side. Quality overload is what is called. That is. So now, he's not just leaving one person, which is a problem enough if you're playing against Pirates, but now he's leaving two people. He's leaving Police, and there's also Radio Pane. Nduli sees this, and then when he sees this, he just plays the ball through. Once again, if you see on the top of your screen, there is another thing. There is Shandu there also keeping the other defender looking at him. And on top of that, there is another defender who's out of position because he's thinking, I need to keep this man from receiving and getting the ball and taking a shot. By the way, you can blame them and say, oh, but why are they not staying on their line? Which is something that I was saying as well when I was watching the game. But I also thought Pirates were shooting a lot last year and they were scoring a lot of long-range shots. So now maybe they were told, don't let them shoot because they can score from a distance. So this thing of trying to be tight on Pirates was probably done because Polokwane City were afraid of that. But Pirates also knew that. So they were like, again, we're going to use this against you. So again, the defender is out of position and the ball is played by Nduli because the defense, if the left center back wasn't out of position, they were going to be comfortable to shift across. But now the right center back was scared of moving across and leaving a bigger gap between them. So now with him being out of position as well because he didn't shift across, now the two combine behind that space that was created by Rele moving wide, and Police just scores, and it was 1-0. And the other element of this that we did not see much is how Pirates were building up from the back, because most of the time they had the ball and they were playing in the half of Polokwane City. But moments of build-up were there. But there's something that I need you to watch carefully in this video before I even tell you what it is. If you haven't subscribed, by the way, you are a horrible person. I'm joking. Please subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content so far. Now look at this. Pirates are about to play the ball from the back, yeah? So as you can see, the wingers are up and wide, and then Radiopane is pinning the two defenders back in the halfway line. But now look at what happens. Mbokazi is the one who's starting with the ball. Mbokazi udlala ball, and then China has the ball and he moves it across. Now I'm going to play this again and see if you can spot what Polokwane City are trying to do. The ball is played by Mbokazi. The striker runs across, the ball is played to Sbisi, and then the ball is now played, and then Polokwane win the ball. Again, this time around it's Sbisi playing the ball. Yeah? As he plays the ball, look at the run from the striker. Now the ball is allowed to go to Sbisi, and then they are trying to let the ball go to the right-hand side. But look at this time around. The ball is played to Mbokazi, who then plays a diagonal ball. I don't know if you spotted what was happening here, but fine. Let me explain to you. Polokwane City were targeting Sbisi to get the ball. Let me show you now again. So if you watch here, let's just go here. If you watch, right, the ball is played by Mbokazi. The defender does not run to China to win the ball. He blocks the pass back to Mbokazi so that the ball can go to Sbisi. So they force the ball to go to Sbisi. And as the ball goes to the right, that's where now all of them are active. Everyone is pushing up to press. And they almost win the ball, indeed. The second time, when Sbisi plays the ball, again, you see that they are stopping the pass to Mbokazi. And they are now attacking Sbisi aggressively. And they press him and they try to win the ball back. This time they beat their press. I think they were doing this because of this reason. Because if you look, when Mbokazi has the ball, he's allowed to have the ball. He can play these balls across and then he can become dangerous. So because his range of passing is much better, the Polokwane City defense, the first line of defense, which is the strikers, did not or were told not to allow the ball to go to him. As such, the ball was always forced to Sbisi when they had goal kicks because he's the one who's less comfortable on the ball compared to Mbokazi. So maybe other teams will also try and force him. That is why some people were saying maybe when Sesane comes back, Sbisi will probably be benched. We are going to see what's going to happen there. Now, in defense, I have just two things to say about this part of the video. Look at Relem Fukeng. The ball is he's attacking, right? But now, the moment the ball is caught by the keeper, he throws it to the right-hand side when Mfukeng is not. And then now Mfukeng is sprinting back and he gets behind. And this is another thing. The ball is crossed into the box. And look who's tackling there inside the box. Yep, it's Sipombuli. Now, why is this a big deal? People are defending. Why are you making this a big deal? The fact that the two arguably players who have the most star power at Orlando Pirates are looking at themselves and thinking, we are not too good to defend. But they are like, we are team players and we are going to do whatever is necessary to make sure that the team does not concede goals. We're still going to create going forward, still going to do things that people are going to scream about. But the fact that Mbule and Fukeng are always involved in defending, it means what Owadu is telling them is, listen, unless you are Messi, you are not going to tell me that you are going to walk on the pitch. So that's one element of a game that makes you go, wow, okay, this coach is really, really instilling some important values, especially with Umbule. Like Umbule says, uzo attack, uzo party ball and but with the defensive part, we've not seen it. So with him starting to do things like this at Orlando Pirates, it tells you that teams should really be afraid of them. But what did you guys think of the game? Do let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Do make sure to subscribe and I will see you on the next one.